Hi, I'm Philippa Rautenbach. I am 45 and I stay in Durban North. At the moment, I don't have breast cancer. Everything was removed and I'm well and fit and healthy. So I was diagnosed in 2020. It was July 21st actually that I got the results, and I was 44. It was early stages, it was stage 1. So I do and did self-check regularly. I found the lump myself, so self-examination, and I left it for about a week just in case it disappeared. It didn't, and then I called in and I said, I found a lump, can it be examined please? I did come for mammograms regularly. Every year I came for mammograms and ultrasounds yearly, so it was sort of in between the checkups. Honestly, I want to say I can't remember, because I think at the time your head is spinning. Well, mine was. I think everybody's different, but at the time I sort of knew. I know it sounds crazy and bizarre, but there's a lot of history, cancer in our breast cancer, all different types of cancer, but mainly breast cancer in our family. So when I found the lump, I think I had always in my head thought, leave everything well alone, make sure I have my checkups until I find something, and then I knew I was going to be really aggressive about what I need to do, obviously with doctor's advice. So when the doctor phoned, well actually I think I'd sort of processed the situation before. So when I found the lump and I came in, Dr. Chick said I need a biopsy. I think in my head already I was like, okay, well if the results are, I know what I'm going to do. So having history of cancer in the family, I'd already preempted what I needed to do. So it wasn't such a shock for me. It was more, okay, now we just got to do this. More that fight or flight kind of, and that fight just kicked in, I suppose. So I had a huge support system, and I say that even from the mammo centre, from Dr. Chick and the ladies doing the ultrasounds and the mammograms every year, that was always comforting for me, knowing coming to the same place. And so that support system, from having the biopsy to phoning your husband, my husband, I had a huge support system. Family, friends, it actually was amazing how friends come together and family comes together and just supports you during that time. So I was very fortunate with family and friends at that time. So again, and I think I'm one of the lucky ones, I was very fortunate not having to have chemo and radiation. I had to have, I chose and was advised to have a full mastectomy. Remove the skin, the nipple, everything, all skin, all tissue. So that was removed. That breast tissue was sent away to Amsterdam for testing, and with the advances in medicine nowadays compared to 5 years ago, think we're very fortunate now. So with that advanced testing, I didn't have to have chemo. It showed that I knew I didn't have to have radiation because of the size that it was. Finding it early, finding it when it was still small by self-examination. And then, so that went away, and they tested really to the last moment of what needs to be done, and I didn't have to have radiation or hormone treatment. So when the test came back, it showed that it was going to be an extra 3% if it was going to be reoccurring, and my reoccurring was going to be in 20 years time, so it didn't make sense to have anti-estrogen, anti-hormone treatments. All those side effects would have not been good for me. So it's great to see how each test is specific for you and for your genes and for your breast cancer or cancer at the time. So that's what I found really interesting at the time, and comforting, actually, knowing that there's so much technology and medical science behind this, that we don't have to have the treatments if you don't need to have it. My real journey, I suppose, was having the mastectomy, having the tests go back, be tested, go to Amsterdam, be tested, come back with the results, to know what to do moving forward. And at that time, when we got the results, my sister had breast cancer, and she had the BRCA gene, so we tested for the BRCA. My BRCA test came back negative, so the oncologist said remove the other breast. So I had both breasts removed, not at the same time. I had the first one with the lumps removed straight away. After testing came back, she would have liked a bit of a clear margin where the tumor was, so we removed more of that breast tissue and did a mastectomy on the other side. I had healed from the first mastectomy, those 6 weeks by that stage, and at that stage when we did the mastectomy on the other side and more removal on my tumor side, they then started with a reconstruction. I had chosen, with advice from the plastic surgeon, to have a latissimus dorsi flap, where they take part of your lat and build up your breast where the mastectomy was, and then they had put implants for the expansion. Then I expanded every week until it was the correct size that I wanted. Once that was correct, that was removed and implants put in. But through that journey of having the mastectomy, and originally the mastectomy, and going back for the reconstruction of the back muscle being reconstructed into the breast with back skin and built up like that, Dr. Hayes had sent me to an amazing physio to loosen the scar tissue, to get the skin, stretch the skin so that it was more pliable for when they put the implants in, and that was also amazing support, great support for the journey as well. They were comforting, and they deal with this kind of treatment all the time, so that was a great support as well. Would like to tell people is just self-examine. Make sure you go for your mammograms or gynae checkups, your ultrasounds yearly. Check in between and do it for yourself, because often I know people say, I'm a bit scared. Fortunately, I was never scared. I was never afraid. through the whole process, I didn't feel one ounce of fear. I think because I had all the support and I knew how much medical advances there are. I knew there was treatment if I needed to have treatment. I knew we have great doctors and great technology in this country, and so I never felt afraid. I knew there was always a plan forward, no matter what. And so if I can share that breast cancer is not something to be afraid of. Caught early by self-examining, go for your yearly checkups. I know it may cost, if you don't have medical aid or you're on a hospital plan, but just put that little bit aside for us to check regularly, so that we can catch it early, so that we can be like me and not have to have treatment. And even if you have to have treatment, I have my sister, my mom, friends have gone through breast cancer, they've had treatment, they've come out the other side, and everyone's just been amazing who has had breast cancer and fought the fight. So I would like to say, just examine, and don't be afraid.